Okay, so it's 2:38 on Tuesday. Tuesday morning, the 27th. Ooh, today may be the day. That's what Seven said on the Ouija board for about a decade. Well, 12 years, I think. Seven's been saying. Or I don't know how they've been talking to the Seven since 2013 or something. So, anyways, but the Seven not only said swim, but the 27th. What was it? Was it somebody else's ChatGPT too? Because they had set a date and they said, "Oh, you lived past that date," and but it's not something that we need to be scared of. I'm telling you. I mean, you get real caught up in the whole 3D thing, and all this bad stuff's gonna happen, and people are gonna die and stuff. But it's not real. So it just depends on how deep, it depends on your immersion level. Oh, yeah, because that's kind of like your vibration, is your immersion level. That makes sense. But there's a few things I want to talk about. And last night, I was getting hot, sleep again. When I got up, I took some mineral salts. Because I don't know what the fuck with these weird feelings in my body. But apparently everybody's having a lot of stuff. I'm just got to be the energy. And last night I was sitting outside. It was so overcast all yesterday. And one news is saying it's going to be sunny. One's saying it's going to be overcast. So it ends up being overcast. But then later it does this shift. But it was like, I was sitting out there looking and I was like, that is 3 different skies merging. Like, I'm looking through the trees on some parts, but it's totally different clouds, it's totally different patterns, it's totally different colors, and it's like they're merging. And the other thing too is they were just spraying to town. It's like they're trying to fill this gap. Like they don't want us to notice, like, this sky's not the same color as that sky, and that one has different clouds and stuff. So I don't know, but it all has an energetic imprint too. So it's all, it is crazy though, because it's just like our energy is just so interlinked with it. It's like you can't really pull it out as separation, just like you can't say what it is good or bad, because it's like an in-between. And because it's subjective, not everybody agrees. So it's not one set thing. That's what's kind of mental, is how the people all try and come up with one set thing. And oh Lord, have mercy on my soul. Oh yeah, there's been a couple of days of this Memorial Day celebration, parades and speeches and all this stuff. Like, I don't know, it's not on my TV, but I see it. And I was just like, fucking hell. The fucking propaganda, man. The fucking goddamn. And the allegiance, the alliance, oh my God. And then you hear these people's attitude. Oh, America's #1. We're the best, and we're so lucky to be here. We're born here. Like, we are so lucky to be born here. Like, like God's chosen. Oh, God. Oh, fucking hell, man. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting to watch, man. That's all I can say. Like, Jesus Christ. There's another thing too, is so yesterday, what was it? Oh yeah, because fucking Canada, those smooth talking motherfuckers. That they're sold as the loving, compassionate group of the loving, compassionate country. And so my mom tells me yesterday, oh, guess what? And I'm like, she's, what's going on in Canada? And I'm like, what, something with the maid? And she's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, now kids can use it. They don't need their parents' permission. They can just go down and, I'm depressed. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. My nose is too big. My butt's just too big. I'm just, do me in. I have no place, no purpose in the world. You know, my butt's big, but I'm over. So, yeah. And the thing is, hold on a sec. I swear I want to have a cup to drink, but then my mind keeps focusing on it. I do have it. Kerchief. Okay, so she tells me this, which I'm not fucking surprised at all. These fucking motherfuckers. And so I said, well, it's because the government, or the people in charge, who the government's the government is, you can look at it as their extension of them, or they take a knee to them. It's just that same thing. It depends on which perspective you're looking at. And it's which is first, the chicken or the egg. To me, government was created to give them control. Yeah, like I see it like, go gadget, go. We need control over there. Let's make a government. So they just, and then they keep this loop of time going with the, yeah, it's kind of kooky. Keep it in this loop of time with resets and stuff. And so, it's like they figure out things like, well, this would work, this would work, this would work. So they just keep retrying. And I don't know how many times they have. I just know that this one we're in is a lot more complex than what people get. So so anyways, I was like, well, like the government doesn't see our kids as being our kids. As far as they're concerned, these beings, the ones in charge, we're just giving birth to their workers or whatever. I said, it's kind of like how we are with cows and stuff like that. And, you think about it, the mom of cow has their calf. We just take it, well, that's some good eating there. Take it down to the ranch, let's process. So we just have a dog has puppies, we'll just take them and sell them. We don't have any compassion towards these other beings, and we're making decisions. That's the karmic entanglement kind of thing that I'm talking about. But all these, the ones that are here, that we're learning with, it is, it's like an agreement. But there still is these parts where you can, and it's not like you step out of line and it's something new. It's a part of your decisions. It's a part of how you handle things. And then it's a part of how the things are handled by others, what creates these karmic entanglements, or these these karmic things where the people coming back, killing each other back and forth and shit. So it's a lot more complex. Like, our world is a lot more complex than this one, really. This one is kind of, it's just so shady, and it's so artificial and manufactured. But the other one that we exist in is a more natural. And it goes by like the laws they make are like the laws of science. They're the laws of what goes around comes around, is like that's just the way it works. Gosh dang. Fuck, I gotta say all this fucking shit. So anyways, so it's kind of the same thing, only it's like they're taking the next step forward, but it was like a step that they were always taking. They kind of created the separation in the family with your kids, once they started taking them to schools. And once they started indoctrinating into their beliefs, into what they want the kids to think and how the kids to behave and whatnot, and then they filter through to figure out what kids are going to jail, what kids are going to work in the, what kind of jobs and stuff. Like they filter through and make decisions and push people in certain directions. And it's the way that their society is built. Like that's why it's like they look at it as more we're just giving birth to their workers, and they've got to start training them from the time they're little, because there's certain expectations in this world. You know, a big one is compliance and being not in control of your own mind, being led by your emotions and your ego. And so they set that. That's why people are lost, because it's not to our natural vibration. So it sets you off right away, because it's that's why we got so many problems with kids now. It's because it's set off. This world is set off from their vibration, so they are vibrating like this, and this world is like this, and they can't figure out like where they fit in. Like, how's this work? And it's just because the stories are falling apart. There's nobody carrying the stories forward anymore. And even when the people try, they're met with resistance, because there's so much awakened people that see through the lies that is already rippling through the current of our society. So they that is a continuous process, and the but it shows up when we look at certain factors in our society, and we see the destruction in the family, but also with the kids. And the kids are definitely showing. I mean, fucking hell, man. They don't know how to communicate. They're all on drugs for depression. They're all over-sexualized. Like, little girls think they need to be sexy. Little girls just need to go out and be little girls. Go and be a princess. Go and be a cowboy or an Indian for a while. Go play. It's like, get your Barbies out. Like, I don't know. I bet you girls are... I remember when I put my Barbies up. I don't know. I think I was like 13 or 15. I don't know. I like those things. But but I bet you, like, kids nowadays are like, fuck, by the time they're 7, getting rid of the toys. I don't play toys anymore, mother. It's like sad. Kids don't get to be just kids. But this is the world that they are creating, and we're so busy, the parents and shit, they keep them so distracted and so burdened by debt and by, everybody's living on the edge of what's going to go wrong next, you know? The car is going to break down, and just every little thing puts us over the edge, because we have no stability. And that's why they want to keep us, because they feed so much off of our emotional instability, our tension, our sadness. And so that is what kind of, it's kind of like the windmills of this reality, the tension and stuff. So they keep it going. But the thing is they need it for their reality, but we don't need it for our existence. So that's why it's going to switch. That's why it doesn't matter what happens with their world. Their world's going to dissolve, because it will have nothing to feed off of anymore. And like the tension and stuff, I'm like, right now there's a ton. It's very chaotic like that. We are in the storm, the eye of the storm or whatever. We're in the storm. And so the tension and all the energy is intense. And so, but that's all, part of it, with the micro, macro, and business. And so permission. So, anyways, the people, let's see, these people, okay, so they're all sad and distressed. They don't understand. They don't understand what's going on in the world. But the answers aren't outside of you, they're inside of you. But people don't know how to connect to themselves. That's a part of the creation of this reality, to keep us in separation. We're kept in separation from ourselves. And we're kept in distraction. And that is why there's such a big push on these things that will keep you destabilized, because they need it so much. But see, as the energy changes and the people wake up, see, they pull off of all these things. They pull into themselves. They pull in and recognize that they could live differently, that things don't have to be the way that they are. That is the creative spirit becoming aware and awake and remembering, like, this is one way, but it's not the only way. We don't have to live like this. This is the way they created. Like, it's like that thing of like, yeah, if you can't change them, join them. What is that? If you can't something, join them. It's like a old saying or something. But it's kind of like that. It's like people just joined in to their thing, like we all did. Like, you know, we were all like told. I mean, I think we all like questioned things as we were growing up, and we're all told, this is the way it is, this is the way it is, this is what it is to be alive, all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, yeah, but we don't, why do we have to do it this way? Why can we do it a different way? They do it in different ways in different places. Why do we gotta do it this way? But that's the American way. It's not just the only, you know. Like yesterday I was watching this movie, and it was going, I was really interested, so I started it over a couple times. And it's this old movie. It had Lauren Bacall, had a whole bunch of people. But I can't even remember all their names, but it had a whole bunch of people. And it was these men who were up for this job for a car place. You know, like Ford Motor Company or something like that. Only this was called Griffith or something. And so these three guys were in competition for this job. The owner had decided he wanted a general manager to be in New York at their facility or whatever. And so he picks these three best guys. And they're supposed to bring their wives to this weekend, or this big thing in New York. And so they all bring their wives. Well, the show starts with showing the couples and what their deal is. And the Lauren Bacall one, her husband was, what's his name? Not Fred Astaire, Fred McMurray, My Three Sons' dad. He, the guy off of Double Indemnity. And so, and he's a go-getter. He is a workaholic, and she's sick of it. She's sick of watching him work himself to death. He's never there for the family or anything. She just wants to split up. She's over it. And he needs her to come to show, because it's important, you know, the way things look. Back then it was so, and it's so ingrained into so many people, older people, how things look, how it's presented, you know, and there's such a big fakeness in that, because people started to get like, oh, well, you know, just get dressed up, just put on a pretty, you know, and nobody knows. And so, you know, there's dark secrets going on in people's houses and stuff, and they had no idea, because, well, he's a real nice guy. So people could pretend, and people caught on to that and started pretending. But it was also, it was like a push too, because I'm telling you, when I was younger, the moral aptitude, where they were trying to get us to be was like, well, I'm going to hell. You going to hell? Well, I'm going to hell too. We're all going to hell. It's like, there's no fucking way, man. You can't think, you can't, it's like, hell no. So, when you have so many people who have just come to terms with, well, I'm going to hell, I can't keep up with this shit, it's like, just like emotionally, spiritually, just give up. It's like, well, what can you do? And they put this storyline out there, and the storyline that people believe and go in just feeds their ego. Like, fucking hell, man. Man. Man, I can't wait till some of this stuff is just like, I see. There's just so much, man. So, anyways, this in this movie, so then there's another couple, and they're just cute, love each other, and they seem like this really great couple. But she likes to have a simple life in Kansas. She don't want to go fucking New York. She doesn't want her husband having that job. She wants to just stay back and have a simple life and enjoy their kids and just live their life. She didn't want this thing. And then the other one, oh, Lord have mercy on that one. She was a social climber, man. She just gave social climbing, like, oh my God, she was just going like behind her husband's back, going and like, not just begging the boss to give him the job, seducing him. She's just like this seductress. She's real attractive, a knockout body and stuff, and had a persona of class or whatever, but it was fake as shit because she was just groveling. Oh gosh, she was disgusting. Such a social climber, so shallow. Oh, she was, ugh. And anyways, so this movie is showing about these people going after this job, but there was a couple things in this movie. For one thing, the women all got taken. The men are always at meetings, so the women got taken on a tour. And this guy's driving them around New York and shows them this big-ass library. I don't remember if it was the Library of Congress, but I think that would be in D.C., so I don't know what this fucking big-ass library was, but it was obviously Tartarian giant building. I mean, the doors are, what, 40 feet high or something? So it was just like, so we did a whole video showing that, some Tartarian giant architecture there. Like, why would we build stuff that's, what? Why would we, what? So then, also in the tour was, he took him by the UN, and he's like, see all those flags? And so they show all the flags. And those are all the flags of the United Nations, or whatever the fuck. And so I also did a video on that one. And that is the flags of the globalist regime. So all of us that are under this, because they think that they own all of us, it's so weird. It's like, get them under, it's like that master them, get them under their flag of America, because to get them in a lot of focus. But then we're going to take over the America, we're going to do over the Canada, we're going to do over Spain, we're going to do over the UK, they're just going to take them. But they have our allegiance where we think it's to our thing, and then we think we're a bigger part of, but no, the ones that, it's like they, the flags that we throw our allegiance around at really have no meaning. And then when you see all this consumerism of patriotism or something, it's like, yeah, let's all come together in unity, but that's coming together in division. That's coming together in ego. That's coming together in, I'm better than you. It's like, no, we can celebrate. We can celebrate, being happy and stuff, but this, I don't know. I just am so much about this, there's so much division, and people don't recognize it. Like, they divide us in our countries, they divide us in our gender, they divide us in our color, they divide us in all this stuff, and people just get comfortable with it, and they throw it around like, it's like, you gotta put down those barriers. Realize that the reason you even acknowledge those barriers is because you have biases. and that's you got to break them down. You know, break them down to move forward, and it's like the trappings of this density, you know. So, and you are the one who's got to save yourself. You've got to connect inside and follow your guidance. And so, anyways, and then also in the movie, it had, so the guys at their meeting, it showed them as well. And so they are in this lab, the science lab part, looking at like the newest thing that they're going to be marketing. And cool ass cars. Classic cars. I just love classic cars. Oh, I just think they're the coolest. And I just love classic cars. Anyways, I'm not going to go off that. So anyways, this car is pulling up. So they have this car, like a parked, like a road, like where you'd have to pull up and parallel park. And so this car pulls up, and then these little wheels come down, lift it up off of the other wheels, and just roll it in sideways. So they have the car so you can go this way, you can go this way. Like the car is more maneuverable in different ways, which they knew how to fucking do that shit. This movie's got to be from the 50s. Could be from the 40s. And so they've known how to do this shit. See what I'm saying? They keep the technology stagnant in order to keep us in control. And one thing is, and they kill people if you know, like the guy who figured out how to run cars off water. The guy, there's one right now, which I kind of tripped me out over this, because he's in Portland, like this big thing, this big show is in Portland where he showed. So what he's done is taken all these fucking plastics that they are saying, well, they're toxic, there's nothing we can do with them and stuff like that. Well, he figured out something to do with them. He made them into diesel fuel. And so he went out and he put it into a truck and ran the truck. And so it was all made out of the plastics. And so that's a big step forward for us. And, but he's in Portland. And I was like, oh man, like, is this going to be where the storms are going to come take this one out? You know, it's like, is an earthquake or something? It's like, fuck, man. But a lot of these science minds, which they come in with this connection to these theories, these understandings, because they're here to create these changes. Like, nothing's happening by accident. It's a part of their purpose. It's a part of how they understand the world. It's part of their imprint, their template. So, so we're going to have a lot of these people who are going to be moving us forward in fascinating ways. So, but they used to, you know, all these people, they would kill them. And so the thing, it seems to me, is that the people who are in charge, that they have these certain things that they use, petroleum, rubber and plastic. Like, I don't know all of their stuff. It seems that rubber and plastic is a derivative or something of petroleum. Like, petroleum is their big thing, it seems. And then they use it and for all these different things. And then they steal it from the earth because they don't live in harmony. So they do it in a very, I guess it's kind of in the difference of making love and fucking somebody. So kind of like, we got to get into the making love with the earth out of this, like, we're just going to fuck you hard. So anyways, so these people, though, that's how they are. They're just brutal. They just don't give a fuck about anything. They don't have emotions to give a fuck. It's like they don't know that they don't give a fuck. It's like they don't have that emotional capability. It's like it's not there for them. It's not something they can draw. That's one of the things we're fascinating to them, but they see it as a weakness. And especially, you know, I mean, it kind of is when you think of it as like we're eternal and we get all caught up in what's going on right here, right now. Like, we don't have any idea about we're eternal and we got all this other shit going on. No, we're just focused on this. This is all we got. We make ourselves smaller, limited, and they feed off of that. They use it against us. So So, but they're so they keep this stagnation in the technology, and it's just so crazy. Like when you watch these old movies, and it's like, I swear to God, I really thought we were gonna be the Jetsons. Way, I couldn't believe I just as I got older and older, and we just nothing was really changing, and we weren't flying around in cars yet and stuff, and everything just I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I just heard somebody the other day talking about the food thing and and they were going in more detail. Like, they found out saturated fats are bad, so then they started telling us you need them 6 times a day. They need it, they saw, people are getting fat off pasta or something. So then they said, oh, you got to at least eat 2 cups of that 5 times a day. That's the kind of stuff they started doing it too. Where they have it up to, and I've talked about this before, their feeding schedule. You gotta eat like 7 times a day because they need that fucking poison going in nonstop. And so okay, let me see. Okay, so the petroleum thing is like their jam. And see, we're going to be accessing other things. But see, even when they start being like, well, let's use the lithium, then they just, like, we're seeing what they do. The violence behind their choices. That's why I said it's not like they're making love to anything. They are violent. And but so their need to keep us on this petroleum, whatever they have control over. And that is kind of like why it seems like kind of intense right now with oh, this place is going up, this place, they'll have lithium, oh, there's 15 minutes, like, it's because they're trying to do this change. But the thing is that this change is happening, and so it's like 2 trains going. So we have the human evolution train, and so we have beings that are born here to take us to another level. And so that's already in motion. That's already going. So their train is one of a loop. And then so they need to keep us on the petroleum, because if we're not buying their products, then how do they have money? Well, they've got enough money to live, I mean, they've hoarded all the money, so, but that's where it's going to change back. They're hoarding because they're leaving, or we're leaving from them, or however this is going down, but they're hoarding all of that resources. Is going to go because they're not going to be there to hoard them anymore, so it's going to go, and it's going to change back over to us. Only we aren't going to be hoarders and stuff like that, because we're going through this evolution of compassion and empathy. We're breaking free from their indoctrination system. So, confirmation. So then we're going to expand, and then we have all this creation going, and so we're going in a new direction. So they desperately need to keep us on their petroleum or whatever. So then what are they throwing us a bone over the lithium? Oh, look, we got this too. And how great it is. No, it's not. And then, even though we're going to charge you a lot. And then, because like a battery or something for those cars, once they wear out, it was like $30,000. It's like, let's buy a new car. Isn't that what we do now with our phones and shit? I remember when they first started with these things, you could go get a new battery. Now it's like, then we started buying new phones, and then the phones got more and more expensive. It's like $1,000 every. There was a while there was people who was getting new phones every few months, and then they just kept going up and up and getting more fancy. But, anyways, they had more of a desperation to keep us on their stuff, so they couldn't really let technology go. They had to disrupt it. And so anybody who was coming in had these ways of leading us in that direction, that they would just, so, but now the energy is changing and we're going in this other direction and it's leaving their stuff behind. And so we're going to go off of this patrol. Like we probably will use, like if you can fucking use all this plastic and make something to operate machinery, I'm sure that we probably will. And all this time when we think we've got all this plastic, and maybe that's going to make some of these third world countries that we've been dumping our garbage in, maybe it's going to make them rich because they're having to walk through all our plastic bottles. So maybe, you know, now they'll have resources to be, I don't know how that's all going to work. I just know that things are going to start working in our favor. But I thought that was pretty cool to be able to turn plastic into something, because the way it seems like you can't burn it, you can't do this, you can't do that, it's just fucking poison. So anyways, that guy figured out something. And then there's these people who are working on these hovercrafts, these med bed. There's a whole lot of stuff. Like our technology is gonna go in a very evolutionary kind of period, and it's gonna go fast. It's gonna be like a card shuffle, like brrr, because it's been so restrained. And that's what I'm talking about too with the energy, like where you have been pushing and pushing forward to go in a new direction. And it seems like, you know, the planet's not along with you, which creates doubt and stuff. Like maybe you're wrong, maybe you're going the wrong way, maybe this, maybe that. But, you know, then that's like a personal conversation with yourself. And then paying attention to the signs and stuff. But then when you are, when you start going in the direction, let's see, okay, let me see. You start going in the direction of towards, so the technology, when we start going in the direction towards that, the separation, their world is falling apart, but ours is elaborating, it's evolving because of new information. Because see, it's always new information. New information is expansion. That's why I said even the souls for the universe, like coming in and going through experience, they don't look at it like, oh, well, you're a real loser. They look at it as like you're just in the motion of expansion, giving new information, everything's new information. And it's a tribute to is because as a being, as a soul, you develop new information, because when you go through these different lives and then you approach another one, see, we have different approaches because there is a real expansion to learning and understanding through all these different perspectives. And that's why the universe is way more appreciative of it. The universe appreciates it, doesn't sit there and go, well, you're going to hell. You didn't make a good choice there, did you? No, it's not like that at all. And they've got people trapped in that fear. And it's not true fear. Or it's a true fear, but it's not a truth to fear. So, anyways, so that is the split apart, though. That is the energy splitting apart. And it is going, because we have this guy who's, you know, we have a whole group of guys who are taking them down. So, and then all of the people associated with them. And so that's where we're going to start seeing, like, I was just thinking yesterday, just even about all the corporate lawyers. Like the lawyers who chose to go against us to feed the corporation, and you know they got paid a lot for it and stuff. But how much we've always had to go up against these corporate lawyers or anything, and those are other humans. In most cases, I presume they're here to learn their own moral dignity, and but it's clear, you know, they were for the corporation, not for us. I mean, the lawyers that we had to go up against for my case were assholes. I mean, don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck if the hospital fucked you over. Don't give a fuck. I just saw this story. This stuff is going all over the place. It's going and going and going. You just don't, not everybody's telling the stories and stuff, but this girl, she exposed her story. And so she went, she's having some stomach issues, some GI issues and stuff, which our GI is totally under attack because um, that's where you, what is that word? Absorb your nutrition is in your gut. And so our guts are under attack. And they get overrun with parasites and stuff, which I just saw the most fucking sickest fucking video. Just, I can't stand these worm videos. I see so many of them. But this one was a dog's paw. And the person was pushing like this, and this worm comes out. So this worm comes out, so they grab a tissue, they grab this worm. This worm was about, this long. Oh, God. Oh, God, it was so sick. And then the caption, the person said something about, I don't think that's a dog's paw. I think it's a kid's hand, which I don't know. And then they said something about that is, dogs lick kids' faces and shit. But also, I don't know, AI could be trying to terrorize us. I don't know. It's just fuck. But so so anyways, we got, okay, so the girl, so she's got this GI issues and she doesn't know what's up. And I completely relate because, I was so fucking sick. And then mine ended up being the colitis. But also I could have had the hep C during all this. I'm not sure. I had to heal myself, and that's what I started focusing on. And I didn't know what all I was healing. I knew I was healing colitis, though. And so, and I already had the brain injury and stuff. I mean, I was getting my ass kicked by this fucking medical system, which it still trips me out because I was getting this so hard yesterday over what it must have seemed like to the people who were the nurses and stuff when they realized what was wrong with me and that I was alive. Like that had to, I'm sure they were sent down immediately to go doctor up their things once they figured out what was wrong with me. Because until they did some more tests, they all just figured I was just a dramatic drug addict. They decided I just was a drug-seeking, dramatic. There was no reason I should have all this pain. Well, don't acknowledge that I'm having some serious pain and let's get to the bottom of it. No, why would we do that? So, and then by the time they did, because I'm telling you, that girl on my floor, and I think she had one hole, and hers was leaking, and I don't remember what the nurse had done, if she let her get up and walk or what it was, whatever this girl had done, but she had a leak. And she started herniating, and they took her straight down to ICU. And there was so much talk where they were like, I don't know if she's going to make it. I don't think she's going to make it, all this stuff. And I did. That's where I started hearing people like, you got to go do some on the records and stuff. And I was like, that's some shady shit, man. And I can't even get these fucking nuns walking around. Like, what the fucking shady shit is this? So but mine was 5 days. 5 days. I know they had to be like, what the fuck, man? She could be dead right now. So, but you can't die unless you're supposed to. I was supposed to go through all this other bullshit. So, anyways, but I call it bullshit. It's changed my life, so it's good. But anyways, so this girl, so she's having some stomach issues. She goes to this GI doctor, which my GI doctor was a dick, man. The first one I had, he was a good one. Then they changed my insurance. I was on this other one. I got sent to this guy. He was a dick. And when he did my colonoscopy, when they're trying to look and see what's wrong, then, and he wouldn't give me, I was awake through it. It was so fucking painful, and I kept saying stuff. He was just a dick. He wouldn't even, because I had tattoos, I just know that's what it was. He treated me like I was a drug addict. And when I went into the hospital to have my surgery, I just want to be clear, I didn't have all these tattoos. I had one tattoo on my back, and it's big. I mean, it was big enough that it was in the LA Times, where it was a big tattoo, but it's And I don't even know how people can look at a tattoo like that and think, oh, well, that's a drug addict. You know how much this fucking thing costs? Like, fucking, people are so stupid. Like, when you see some people with tattoos, like, they're obviously paying to have art on their skin. People who are, the druggy ones, like, it's totally different tattoos. People are going and paying big money for tattoos. Like, it's not some fucking, oh, well, they're a druggie. It's like, you just show how ignorant you are, doc. So, anyways, he treated me so bad. It was like, fuck him. And I had to go that way. Because luckily, I didn't go to him for my solutions when they called. And they're like, oh, you got colitis. You got to come in. We got to get you on this. We got to do this. We got to do that. I was like, hell no. And so, so this girl, so she goes, so I had this perspective, my GI doctor, and she went to a surgeon. So I don't know if she went to her doctor and they sent her to a surgeon or what. It's so convoluted. So she goes to the surgeon. The surgeon decides he's doing surgery on her right away. He's going to do this, this, and this. And starts getting brought up about he's going to remove her anus. And she's like, she goes and does research. And I don't know what her symptoms or, what she's got going. But so she goes, no, I don't want my anus removed. Let's leave that. If things continue to get bad, we can talk about that later. Don't remove my anus. Just do the other stuff. Which it seemed like he was taking out a couple of organs. Because she said later in the thing, well, I got a couple of organs removed. What? So, I don't even think that they should be removing more than one at a time. Like, fuck, they just keep us out of sync, man. So she goes in to get this surgery. And she had a bad feeling, she said. She said she didn't trust him so much. She had a bad feeling. So she goes in and gets her surgery. She's in recovery. She's in her room. And the nurse comes in and says they want to check her wound. And she's like, what are you talking about? What wound? Because I think they were going through her belly button or something. Like what they did with me a few times. And, which is jackery, fucking fuckery bullshit. So she is like, what wound? And the lady's like, your anus. And she's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, your surgery where they removed your anus lining or something. And she's like, what? And so it turns into this whole thing. And she has so many fucking issues. Oh my God. I won't even be able to tell this shit. So she starts having these issues. She goes back to this doctor. And, she's pissed. Like, for one thing, like I told you not to remove my anus. And now I've got these other issues. And he's like, oh, you're fine. You're fine. The first time she came, he was just like, oh, you're fine. Here's some antibiotics. Go home. And the second time she came, he started yelling at her. She said he started yelling at her, telling her he's the doctor. He knows what the fuck he's doing. She could shut the fuck up. She starts crying in the office. And so she decides she's not going to go see him anymore. But he has created like a fistula or something. He's created a pocket inside there. And there's this huge infection that's going because there's this pocket. And apparently, and I had heard this. And I even told this to my mom a couple weeks ago. And she's like, no way. I said, I'm telling you. But so when they remove organs, because that is one thing that about dogs, is so when you remove an organ, like like with my daughter's dog, and they said, well, he's got the big C, we got to take out his spleen, and then his problems is then it creates an open space, nothing fills it in, and so it gets filled with infection or they're like different things, and it ends up killing them. That's what happened with Petey. So, anyways, so she goes to another doctor, and he's saying, this guy should have never done any of this. Like, what? And they didn't even have a diagnosis. They hadn't even done a diagnosis. He's just going in blindly and removing shit out of this chick. I told you, I've said, like, these people who are out there working right now are whacked, man. They are whacked. They are not, Like, you just think about the people who are asleep and awake. And you want somebody who's asleep to be fucking doing shit on you? They're just running on their ego? It's like, fuck no. And, so she goes to this doctor. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to try and fix this thing. But they've got to fill this space now because this space keeps filling with infection. And so he says he's going to do a muscle graft. So she's thinking he's going to, she has to have it all explained and stuff. And she's like, oh my God, this is horrible. So they're going to cut or take this muscle from her leg or something. So she thinks they're going to take this muscle and put it up there. No, nope. They just, the muscle is attached at her knee. So up in her groin, they just loosened it, I guess, apparently, and just yanked it. Yanked it up into here and then attached it somewhere else. What the fuck? She said it hurt so much when her leg and stuff. She's having so many problems. And she finally got diagnosed, and she's got Crohn's, so she's dealing with that. Now she's got so many fucking problems. And she's young, so young. It's like, what the fuck? Look what they do to people. And what was this one? Because it was another one coming into my head right then, too. With a girl. What did they do? Was it something? I keep thinking about worm. Oh, because I just saw that one girl who was doing a thing and showing the worms coming out of her. They were, oh God, so much shit. The big worms too, man. And then this other, oh yeah, I guess she had all these stones, and they were all in this mucosa thing. It's so weird how we have all this like toxic shit inside of us, but nothing's real. Like, it's just so weird because we get affected by the stuff, but it's not. It's just so weird because it's as real as. It's weird because it's like it's as real as you make it. The more you pull back from it, the less real it is, but it's still really happening. Like, we're still really being affected by the poisons and stuff. So it's got to be like the whole vibration's got to change, I think. It's got to be something with this whole quantum theory or whatever. So, anyways, it seemed like there was another one. There's a lot of this medical malpractice and shit going, so much. And then the system is there for them to continue it, for that to be accepted or something. And the lawyers aren't on our side. The judges aren't on our side. We don't have, it's like we all got to pull together and be on our side. Because then, then they got to fear the pitchforks and the rakes and shovels and shit. Because no matter what we got, we're powerful when we all come together. Yeah, is that we see it like these Frankenstein movies or whatever, and the village gets their rakes and hoes and fire and shit, and they go storm the palace. Because, when you think about it, they're way less in numbers, way less. I think that's probably one of the reasons why they wanted to do a huge reduction, because they're probably overwhelmed by the numbers. And that's what they want to get more on their side, but the ones that are on their side are still just like minions. They're not really of the same status, and so they are throwaway. They are disposable. And which, by the way, I don't know. There's so much stuff coming out, and so much of it is like, is this a lie? Is this a lie? Is this a lie? Who fucking knows? But there's now it's coming out. A girl is coming out and saying that she's Diddy and his mom's daughter. What in the holy hell? Fuck, man, we have some, God, oh my Lord. But I mean, it's already in the thing too, where his mom was like, when he was a kid, if he would, she was a sexual abuser. So, and who knows, whatever, with their whole family line or whatever, because there's something to this Illuminati with, there's like a white and a black Illuminati or something, to infiltration or something. I don't know. But, Like there's certain people in that color category that are there to destroy the rest of the people in theirs. Like they're out to kill their own. They don't give a shit. Oprah did it, the diddler. That there's a few that they would, you know, because I don't know. I think he's like had a part to play in a lot of people of his own color's death. That were, you know, successful people or whatever. I mean, there's links now, like he and with the Brittany Murphy. And if you remember when Brittany Murphy, because Ashton and the Diddler are such compadres, and you remember when Brittany and Ashton broke up, and she was out to humiliate him. She just kept talking about he has a tiny, tiny, like, penis. And she was, like, going on David Letterman and shit saying that. And saying stuff like, yeah, well, Demi Moore obviously likes really small penises. Because he went with Demi Moore then, right? And so then where's it end up? Brittany ends up with some weird pneumonia, which is the same pneumonia that his wife, Cassie or whatever. So there's really rare pneumonia. And they both had it. And I don't know. I think it doesn't take a lot to, it's like a 1+1 kind of situation, really. It's not like very complex math. So, but there's going to be more. These people are just violent. Just watch out. They'll fucking take you out, man. And they're a bunch of fucking weirdo pervs. But see, they're still not the higher ups. These are just the minions. And like I said, they're disposable. They don't give a fuck about these people. As far as they're concerned, these people are just low lives, you know, like they'll fuck anybody over. And so, but they feed off of them. They use them. They use them to control us, you know. They are like, I always see it kind of like the slaves in the field, and then the guys on the horseback to whip them. But the guys on the horseback, they don't have any power. They're fucking nothing. So, but they're over these other ones. Just like the guards at the prison. Those guys don't have any fucking shit. But they're over the other ones. And then they wield that power. But that's our division, you know. That's when we start having compassion for the other person. Then we don't carry out or continue those kinds of behaviors. That's why compassion and empathy is such a big part of this awakening. It's awakening these parts of you where you feel for other people, like, oh man, that's rough. Like you feel their pain. And so why would you want to create pain or continue pain? And then when you can relate to it, because that's one thing, man. This little Miss Shirley girl, which her name is Lariah or something, and she's the cutest thing. But boy, she's rocked this. So many people are out saying, you know, all over the internet to stop this exploitation of this little kid. This mom needs to get her shit together, and so many of the women have been abused and exploited, and you know, they know, like, you can't send out a 4-year-old looking sexy. What the fuck? There's people who are into that. It's like they like that. They look at that like, hey, yeah, that's good. Like, they don't look at it as like, oh, she's a cute little girl dressing up and playing. Like, no. Especially when you're out there marketing her like that. And so all these people who have been abused and stuff, they have empathy and compassion for this kid. They know, like, you know, what's ahead for her. And some of the people are like, oh man, some of the people are getting really pissed and doing all sorts of videos trying to talk to this mother. So anyways, but it's the compassion and the empathy comes from our relating to another experience. And see, that's where we keep ourselves in judgment and bias because, oh, well, they got themselves into it. Well, that's their problem. Well, I don't understand these druggies. Well, these homeless people, they make choices. So it's like, you got to recognize that, oh, that's your biases, because no, that's not the case. And a lot of bad things are happening. It's not just because people are, in my case, yeah, I made choices to get myself in the position I am. And I just saw this other guy in this video, and he was talking about, he's so sick of it. He's just done. He said, in the way time is going too, it's like you just pay your bills, and the next week you got to pay all your bills again. It just keeps going and going and going. It's just like this loop of, that we're like stuck in, this time loop or something. And he said he's ready to pull out and all that. So I had said, well, I pulled out. I'm like looking like a crazy person. My family living in a tent in my parents' garage, or my mom's garage. But I said that, but the way I look at it is that is the changing the energy. Yeah, it may seem like kind of, but it's a transition. And it is like I've removed myself from one thing and I'm ready to go in a new direction. And I believe a new direction is going to come because I made that choice. Even though I'm in a transition, I made that choice that I'm going in a new direction. And so a new direction will open up when we keep ourselves in the safety zone and just keep going on the hamster wheel, because we don't want to make a choice, because what if I lose my house? What if I lose my job? Or what if I lose my car? Yeah, what if? What if? You weren't born with it. I think you've made it through life without some of this shit. You've forgotten. And is it comfortable? You say, well, I want my life to be more comfortable. Is it comfortable being under someone else's control? And, paying them to not come over and break your knees and take your shit from you? So, anyways, I see it as like that is the creation of going in a new direction, and it is the ripple. It's like it's a ripple. It's like when you make a choice to go in a different direction, because I saw in the comments, this one person said, well, it's because we all need to come together and we all need to do this. We all need to figure out something different. We all need to do that. It's like, no, talk to people. Everybody is like waiting for everybody else to do it. It's like, no, we can't be like, well, as soon as everybody else does it, I'm going to do it. No, you got to jump in. You got to be, one of the ones that's jumping in first and creating the ripple. Standing back and waiting for everybody else to do it. Well, we'll just stand back here for another fucking 2 decades waiting for somebody else to, who's going to go first? Who's going to go first? Well, I'll go first. I'm sick of fucking shit of this shit. I'll take the risk. We'll see where it takes us. And so, anyways, that's kind of what we're, what I'm waiting to see. Where am I in this quantum theory? How's this work? So, we're putting it to the test. But that's what I believe, is once you pull yourself free, you have some kind of period of time, a transition, a bridge to get where you're going. But it's going to lead you in a new direction. When you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, for one thing, it becomes crazy to do something over and over and over again and expect something different to happen. But people just keep doing it over and over and over and over. But it is like it's like a safety zone on a hamster wheel on a time loop. And it's like it gives a parameter to your existence. And some people need that safety feeling. It's like it's like a little kid but going swimming with their arm rings on. It's like some souls need this like arm ring, a safety net. It's like what makes sense to them. And this control has been so programmed into people that it feels more like safe, and then they sell you on this productive citizen shit. And so and that goes with the hierarchy, the dog eat dog, the ego. It's deliberate. It's a deliberate kind of behavior of this competitiveness. I'm going to step on you to get ahead because I'm better than you and I deserve this or whatever. It's very, it's a whole set of standards that we accept as a society. And but that's the breakdown. That's the breakthrough. That's the breakaway. Is what we're doing, is breaking free from these set standards because they don't make sense. They don't make sense. Like you don't. You work your ass off every day, and you're not going to get ahead. It's just going to keep being, unless you have some kind of unless it's in your storyline that you're going to win the lottery, or you're going to invent something that you're going to make a lot of money, or some big success thing is going to happen for you if it's in your storyline. But otherwise, you're just chasing something and blindly thinking you can force something to happen, thinking you have control over the universe, thinking you can make things be what you want them to be, instead of getting in tune with what you're doing here. It's like you're trying to force it, and it gets you so distracted from your lessons, your learning, your life. It keeps your time. They manage your time, and your time is what you have. Your time is like really all you got, and it's in the sense of your time here, your window of time of feeling the existence of this parameter, this reality of this realm. And so I was just seeing that because there's more with the maps and stuff, more people still going on the maps and stuff, and noticing that things aren't the size that they say. Like if you go look on radar or something, like there's maps don't match something. And because you have all these people like looking at radar and stuff now, looking at different wave patterns and shit, and seeing like, oh, wait a minute, like this is way bigger on this, and this is way bigger on this one. Like then, because it's all fucking bullshit. But then I saw somebody, and they were talking about like the ice rings. I didn't listen to the whole thing because I already think I know what I think. But there's all these continents that are outside of the continents that we exist on, and there's these levels of ice rings apparently that go in and hold them. So it's like a bubble inside of a bubble inside of a bubble inside of a bubble, and then but it's really a realms and realities. And then they were saying there's 33 of them. There's something about this 33 thing and the Masons or something. And then, but the thing is, to me, is when I look at it, it's realms and realities and stuff. Like we keep trying to make it like a map of driving. Like what I want them to do is open up the fucking portal map. Show us the fucking shortcuts, dude. Show us how we can get places faster. Because I know we can. A video is going around again about those guys being down there in Mexico, and that person going up to them and saying, did you just fly in from Mexico? And they were like, no, we just walked. And then she's like, where'd you walk from? And the one guy's like, from India. And she's like, India? She said, well, you walked from India? Well, did you walk, like, where did you go? Like, did you go to the airport? Like, they're so confused. And then it's like 3 more of them walk up. And she's like, well, where did you fly in from Mexico? And he's like, walked. And she's like, where'd you walk from? I swear to God, he said Pakistan. And then the third one, she's like, well, did you fly in from Mexico? Did you, I mean, what airport have you guys come from? And he's like, walked. And she's like, what do you mean walked? From where? And he said something like Pakistan. I think 2 of them said that. And then, so the person is like, well, what, I mean, how did you walk? Like, what do you mean? Like, they're so confused. And I don't remember if they said through the mountains or whatever, but I'm telling you, there is ways through this fucking place that is different. It's the way that we have to conceptualize or something, is our confusion, because it's not just like this laid out thing like this. it's way more, because it's all like this vibration and realities and stuff like that. I mean, it's layers, and in in this one where we're at under this bubble, where we are starting to recognize each other, realize, and coming together in a unified manner, where each place is going against their governing forces and coming together with the people, but it's going to keep being the people coming together, the people coming together. And that is where we become a collective under a certain vibration of realities. But there's other realities around us. And then it's like, and then we're going to merge in with these higher realities, because we are raising ourselves up into a deeper understanding and a deeper, it has a lot to do with acceptance. Acceptance in not in a fake way. That's why it has so much to do with this letting go of judgment and all that kind of stuff. Because in order to be of the higher mind, you have to be accepting. And it's not like you have to love everybody like we have to love them, but you need to just have love for them, have love for the people. And so but so in our reality bubble, but it's gonna change, which opens it up. But it's not like we have to go way out there. There's gonna be things that are around here, because it's like this world is merging with other worlds right now, and it's like a collision of different worlds, but it's the vibration. It's like the vibration is, it's moving them, and then we are connecting. And but anyways, I don't see it so much as like this flat plane of all these existence and stuff. I just see it, and then but our world now is different realities, but we are coming into a joining, and then plus there was the part where like this nomadic part of us going out and searching for new lives and doing things and experiencing and stuff. So then we start going out to other places and connecting, and the connection brings us more into a common reality, even though there's different realities of different, like people are even living in different times and stuff, different years and stuff. So it's in the realities are very different in different places. And so but it's like we're coming together as like the humans to create a common reality, and but it isn't to control and consume another's, it's just to acknowledge. And the acknowledgement and the acceptance is what creates the peace. And so it's not like, but it is like an awareness. But see, that's also like where I say like we should be able to travel through portals, because we're not laid out like this. We are in some other way. I don't know how to explain it. Like, they're walking from India or something. Is India? I have no idea. I just know it's not what they tell us. And that I just know the realities and realms and stuff is what's real. And I don't know. I mean, who would have thought that we would come down to this realization that we are just a realm, a realm surrounded by a zillion other realms. I mean, but I know there's portals in the forest and in the mountains and stuff. So I know there's portals there, but I think there's portals around us too. And I think that probably like their interstate and stuff is either using portals or they are directing us away from them. So they may use these interstate freeway system things as a way to move us through these things through different realities and realms and stuff, but we should be able to manage it in a different way. We should be able to know, like, how to get around here in a faster way, which there's going to be, but it seems like they're going to go more into the technology. So I don't know how much of it is going to start going into like the metaphysical, the supernatural, our real world, or if it's just going to be like, well, in technology, we can just zip over here, zip over there, which, whatever, just get us around faster. Like, of course, that's on my mind because I've got this trip coming up. It's like 2 days away now. Today's Tuesday, and I'm leaving Thursday. So, it's coming in faster and faster. It's like, fuck. And I gotta go down and deal with the TSA fucking pilots and, Jesus. So, anyways, but I totally 100% believe that those guys walked somewhere through some mountain range that's over there, and they end up in some mountain range that's over here. I swear to God that I think that there's a way that you're walking through mountain range over here, and then you're going through this stuff, and then you find yourself in the Grand Canyon, and I don't even know that you would know you're in the Grand Canyon if you were way down or something. It would just look like more mountains, and then you're walking through there, and then you come out in a different place. There's like, it's like kind of like trapdoors or something throughout our reality, where it's like you go through that portal, you go through that door, and all of a sudden you're in another place. So you've just jumped from one place to the other. It would seem to us, but it's how you go through realms and realities. And so you go through it with portals. And so anyways, they're slowing us down, basically. They're slowing us down. Let us be free. And that's what yesterday I was sitting outside and I saw a bird up soaring, just going up, riding the current. And I was like, that's us. That's what we're going to be, soaring. We're going to get into this riding the current thing, and not being controlled and caged and manipulated. And so but anyways, there's that's more of the truth to our reality, is the portals, the doors, but then also, so you need to know which ones, because there's portals and shit that can lead you into another reality that is outside of where you're trying to go. So you could end up going like I would not if I saw a door, the steps, because that's supposedly a thing, that there's these stairs out in the woods, which is so funny too, because when you're driving out of this neighborhood, there's one a house up there that they have like some woods, and then they just have stairs out there. And I think maybe it's like one of those deer watching things. You're not supposed to be out here. What? So I don't know. Is there practice? I don't know the fuck. But anyways, it always is weird because they've got these stairs, just these stairs. And I think it has a platform or something. Maybe it's their kids' thing, but it reminds me so much of that movie with the stairs and all of those stories that these rangers have said. They said that if you see stairs out in the forest, you don't go on them. And it would be the same thing. I wouldn't go on the stairs, and I wouldn't go through a door. And I was just seeing it kind of. But it also is your vibration. Yeah, so, because I was just seeing it like in the forest, in this really old, like, I don't know, not a castle, but like a stone structure, like a stone house, with some of it being there still, and a gate with the stone structures and stuff. And so some people could walk through that gate. That would be a portal, and it could go back into time, into when that place was fluid or functioning. And others could go through that and still be in the forest. It depends on your vibration. So, and not just your vibration, it's like your focus too. Like maybe some of the people, when they find themselves go through something, maybe they were more open, and the other ones are more closed off or something. But it's weird because different people can have different experiences with different portals. It's not just all the same. So, and that would be everything that's different is based on your vibration. So, anyways, that's really the only difference with us at our real core of who and what we are. The only difference is our vibration. This is all an illusion, so this doesn't matter anything, you know, what you look like or your color or any of that bullshit. It's what it is it's the energy, your orb, the being that you are. That's what you truly are. It's kind of funny too, because then I was just seeing it like in these movies and stuff where they show like the person and then they've got an alien inside. Well, we got an alien inside of us too. And the alien inside is just this, it could look like whatever it wanted. Like it could look like a head, it could look like the different things. But it, inside of here, it has this reflection coming out. So it is just the battery like operating inside of here. But that is what our truth is. That is what our true being is the orb part of us. And that is that's your signature code. Your DNA code is your structure, and your structure is built off of your lifetimes, your experience. And so that is the creation of your code is through your experiences. Like, yeah, it's like kind of like you checked out a zillion library books and everyone was logged in to create a part of your code, your understanding to existence or something. And so so your DNA code is like just through your experience, but your experience will create your vibrancy and your vibration. And so that is the vibrancy is the only thing different in any of us, is what our vibration is. And it isn't like, I mean, we have the low vibration, but we're not of this low vibration. We come into this low vibration. The ones that are of the low vibration, they can't get out of it. That's why they try and figure out other ways to get out of it. Like they're going to steal, make hybrids and shit, because they are stuck in this vibration. They can't get out because they don't evolve. And they don't evolve because they don't have, it's like they live a life of ignorance because instead they're led by control and dominance. They feed off of dominance. That's what their thing is. So that's the low vibration. We're all of a higher vibration, but we aren't. We're all different, but nobody is like, you can't say, well, that's that vibration over there. They're the better ones. That vibration, they're, you know, it's not. It's just that's the only difference in you is your vibration. And you do have people who vibrate with you, who resonate with you, who are on the same wavelength. And so, but even with that, it's such a familiarity in the vibration, but there's still a distinctness to you. So you still have your own code, your own vibratory match, your own vibration, but you have a bleed out of matches. So there's matches to you. Yeah. And then at different times in your life, you have different matches too. Because that is what you come in to experience, the transits of not separation, of this connection, like coming together and stuff. But you're there to learn from each other and to grow. I wonder if you guys can even hear me, or I'm just snoring over here. Which, I swear to God, I couldn't sleep. So then I'm like, well, I'm just going to fucking get up. And it was like, well, I'll have some of the mineral salts and see if that doesn't help with the whatever's going on with my body. And then, so then I'm like, well, I'll just get up and make some tea and stuff. So you think like, I'm just gonna get up and just kick it here for a minute by myself and enjoy. Hell to the no. It's immediately, let's eat, let's go. And then I've already, like, I've got soup making. I would think that would be going off by now. But anyways, I've got soup cooking for him. Stella's already eaten a whole fucking meal. It's like, they're going to be, my mom, I'm glad it's only a few days. Because Stella's going to lose her fucking mind. She's used to eating like 4 or 5 times a day. She's hungry all the time. And she just seems to be losing weight. And I don't think that I don't think she has the big CP. She's, she seems to be really doing good. Oh, yeah, this was something I wanted to say yesterday and I totally forgot. So, I'm just going to say, like, there's a video, and I will share it with you if you'd like to see it. But the stuff that I've been talking about that I put in their water every day, the CHD, that stuff, is, there's another video about how good it is and all the things that it can help. And how to use it and stuff. Must be the cat. Yeah, this one cat, he opens up stuff. So, anyways, what was I gonna say? God, that totally disrupted it for a second. Oh God, it sounds so loud right now, and it sounds that it was something that's meant to distract me off what I was gonna say. So let me think what I was gonna say. The pinnacle, oh yeah, oh okay, so that medicine stuff, and I don't remember all the stuff that I had heard because I listened to it and I was like, oh okay, that's what I was about to say, because there's a certain amount of drops, 15, that you can do, and you have to build up to it. If you don't build up to it, you're going to it's going to pull too many toxins at once, so you're going to get super sick and have a lot of diarrhea and stuff. And this doctor said, whatever you do not stop the diarrhea. You got to get the shit out, so you're just going to have to ride it out. And I think I've said that before. When your body is getting rid of something, you don't try and stop it. They tell you, stop it. Stop the diarrhea, stop the vomiting, stop the snot, and stop. No, let your body get rid of the shit. So, she said that you got to build up to the 15, but the 15 drops, and it only lasts 45 minutes. So and she said you have to have it, like, for one thing, you have to have it in glass. She has hers in plastic. I'm going to put mine in glass, but don't put it in metal. And nothing can have no metal, not anything, no lid, nothing with metal. And this is the same with kombucha, so I was used to that kind of concept. But and you got to build up in the amount of drops. You go with 1 drop, and then go up with 2, 3, 4. Build yourself up to 15. That's anti-aging. So your aging is over once you can get up there to the 15. So I'm getting that shit again and going back on the 15. So this doctor, she said what you do, because she's like really into it. Like, she bathes in it and all sorts of shit. And she makes it herself. And so she tells how to do that. She has a whole website and stuff. So she said that the 15 drops, anti-aging, the bathing in it, making it, what was I about to say? She said that, aging, anti-aging, because aging's fake as fuck. Man, I have no idea what I was about to say. But anyways, but the video is there, so I will put it in the comments. I'll share it in the comments. And then let's see if there was something else. It seemed like there was something else I wanted to say about it, though. The doctor saying, you gotta go slow, work up to 15 drops. it only lasts like, oh, the glass. Okay. So she said she uses a cup and then she just drinks out of it all day long. So you just drink a little all day long. And so you want to keep it going all day. Not just like think, well, I'll just drink it down and then I'll be set for the day. No, you have to drink it, has to be going it like every 45 minutes or something. And um, she has some more things too, like if you don't like the taste or whatever. But you can't have any metal. And so she said that you get a shot glass, like a little tiny glass, and then you put the drops in, put the other, and then you mix it and give it like 40 seconds or something, and it will turn brown. You can smell it, and it turns a different color. And so then you put the drops in your thing. And she even has a way of doing a half drop if your one drop is too much. And then, but to work your way up, you got to work your way up, and it will just detox all of the stuff out of you. And, but so anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to order some more because I'm not going to use theirs because I feel like it's contaminated with dog slobber. So I'm going to get my own. And then I'm getting a glass bottle to keep mine in. And then I'm going to get a little thing to mix it. I'm going to get them at the thrift store or whatever. But I'm getting a glass bottle, and then I'm just going to mix it and then just have my my copper water one, and then just sip them both through the day. And then it'll give you extra water too. So anyways, that but I'm going to have my copper water is going to be in one thing, and this other water is going to be in the other. And I'm definitely going to go for the 15. And I don't know, well, we'll talk about it when I'm doing it. I'm not going to start until I get back. So, but I will talk about it when I'm doing it. And, you guys will see how I'm doing it. And if you guys decide to do it too, so we'll see how it works. So anyways, I've been talking a long time. And I don't know. I feel like I'm just these days, I'm just for today and tomorrow, I'm just kind of getting ready to go, even though I'm already packed. I feel like I gotta get the dogs ready. And the dogs, oh my God. Stella she's not gonna have the same. Hopefully she'll just, just lay down and just kind of be sad and just sit here and wait for me to come. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what goes on with them for these couple of days. So that's one thing is I just wish, because if they weren't fucking with us on the travel, fuck, I could just zip over there and see them for a little while, zip back. Wouldn't have to, but, they're going to make money off of us by flying us around, which I swear to God, I would not be surprised at all if the things that we see going up in the sky are not a hologram, and then we don't just sit in an airport and they take us to some building and we just sit there and wiggle around like a fucking ride at Disneyland or something. I swear, it's all fucking nonsense. It's all fucking bullshit. All of it. I'm just thinking it's fucking bullshit. And they fly us on weird routes and stuff. So anyways, I just feel like, man, if the truth was out there, I'd be able to zip over there, see him for a little while, zip back home. You know, have all this fucking long, drawn-out shit. It's like they make money off of all of this control and travel, and you got to go through this stage. You got to get this license. You need to, we got to have a fucking passport to fucking... Fuck. We gotta have a fucking passport now to just, Jesus Christ. Pretty soon it's gonna be like, you gotta have your passport to leave your neighborhood. Well, I mean, that's what the direction they were gonna take us. We're not going there though, because we're breaking free. But each person has to break free from themselves. Don't sit back waiting for the neighbors to do it and this person to do it. And then don't listen to the people. Well, you just have to do this. You just have, it's just the way it is. Why? It is the way it is as long as we accept it. I'm done accepting this bullshit, man. And I'll fucking go out on my own. I'll live in a goddamn garage and then go, whatever it takes. But create the ripple to create the change, because that's what we need, change. And that's what has to happen. And that's what we're going through. And that's what's going to happen. And there's a lot of people here to lead into this direction of change. And there's a lot of resistance. A lot of people who sit back in safety and fear. So anyways, but it's all falling apart. It's all going to change. So it's going at a pace. So yeah, finding peace with the pace. So, but just remember what we're doing here. Oh yeah, before we go there, we better go here. My nails, now I'm taking 3, I moved on to the 4 biotin, so now my nails are growing again. I think I just got to take 4 or 5 biotin every day to get the amount I need or something. But I don't know that those chews are doing anything, but maybe they're working, because if I stop doing the chews and I continue the biotin, then we'll see. Is this hair going to fall out? And then I'll have to go back on the chews and start that all again. So, like, you got to monitor yourself. You got to figure yourself out. And then my tooth, I think one of the reasons my tooth is hurting so much is I think I'm gritting my jaw. I think I'm gritting it. So I keep trying to intentionally keep my teeth apart so I'm not pressing down on it. But it's definitely been super sore. Another thing I started thinking is because I had that one mouthwash, the Uncle Harry or whatever, and I also got his toothpaste, which is just like the same, super hot. But I started thinking, I wonder if it's too much for mine, and that's what's creating the sensitivity. So I'm going to go back, not use that for a couple of weeks. Well, I'm not going to be using it on my trip. And until then, I'm going to use the fig. That's the hydroxyapatite stuff. And so I'm going to use that and not use the other and just do the peroxide and see if that doesn't reduce the swelling or reduce the pain. And then also trying to keep my teeth from clenching. But the but then I'll see when I get back if it is being less sensitive or whatever by making those little changes. So we'll see, because I'm not sure. You just got to try different things because you don't know. But you can't, just because something works for one person, it doesn't automatically mean it's going to work for you, because we do all run different codes. And that's why you have to figure you out. Nobody can figure you out. Nobody can save you. Nobody can figure you out. You have to figure you out. And you have to establish your understanding of your code. Like, there was another thing that I saw that was really clear too about this understanding, this understanding of you as the whole being, is the evolution of self. Like, so anyways, but there's more about that, but I'm not gonna go off on that now too. So yesterday I was looking at it last night. I was like, it's a lot more with the orange color right now. So, but it is like deep. Oh, now the soup's done. It is kind of deep in there, but sometimes when it's deep, it's a lot more gray, but it looks kind of dark, but it's really orangey. So it's in that part where it's growing a bunch of new texture, whatever you want to think of your tooth is growing. And so I don't know. I know it's sensitive. And it is hurts. Like some of the times I'm just like, fuck, man, I just pull this fucking thing out. So anyways, for me, and some of this stuff, while it's healing, it's not just all like easy peasy. It's like, my tooth hurts. And you still are trying to figure out, like, well, does this make it better? Does this make it worse? Does this make it better? Does this make it worse? So you got to evaluate. You got to pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to what you're doing and stuff like that. So anyways, but now let's get down to it, because what we're really doing here is learning how to love ourselves, learn how to love everybody, and how to have the day that you want to have, because it's totally up to you. So anyways, I'll talk about it again tomorrow. So talk to you later. Bye.